now I'm back to the manager's perspective where I'm going to be reviewing work. So I can, um, so let's say I'm a production coordinator or a producer, and it's the weeklies are coming up for a review. We're going to do the weekly reviews. So what I would do is I would go over to versions and make sure that okay, so we've got a couple versions. I might want to, if I'm a good production manager, I would actually go through each individual task, look at the status, and make sure it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, go into the task and look at the conversation that's happening, check who is assigned and what's happening in regards to the task, and then just physically go to the person and say, "Hey, you haven't updated this task, or what's the situation here?" So at the end of the day, what you have done is you've gone as a good production manager, you've gone through every single task, verified the assignments, verified the start and end dates, verified the reviewers, and make sure that everything is on track for all the tasks. So once you've done that, then you can rest assured, okay, as far as I'm aware, everything in the production is, in terms of the information and the team, everything is synchronized. Shotgun is an accurate reflection of the current project status. So now let's get ready for weekly reviews. Okay, so let's look at versions that have been created. So then I could see, okay, so these two versions were created. Of course, you're going to have a lot more with the larger team, much more concepts, designs, etc., etc. So you're going to have a lot more versions. But for this demo, for the sake of this demo, let's say you have these two versions. So what you would do is you would actually create a review. What a review is uh, it's going to be a playlist of versions that you want to look at for that review. Pretty straightforward. So you're the production manager, you've done all the due diligence, you looked at things, so you're going to say, okay, so this is the review, and let's say for, uh, let's say we're doing a review today. Maybe we start Monday with a review, whatever. So we'll say, wait, what date was it? 26. So we'll say review, 26 August 2019. You know what? We probably don't even have to put review. And then a quick blurb. Maybe you're having a special, more focused review or whatever. Generally, what you want to do is make sure that this makes sense. Make sure the project is right, and then create a playlist. So now what we're going to have is a playlist with this name. So that basically, that's prompting me as a producer. Okay, so here these are the playlists that we want. So I'm going to go ahead and link versions. So here all my versions would show up. I can select them in bulk, or I can select them independently. So I know I want all of them, so I'll select it in bulk, and then finally hit link selected. So now what happens is we have a playlist. So when it's time to go into weeklies, there's no looking for things. There's no, oh wait, where was this version or what? All the due diligence has been done. The Shotgun data is up to date. You have all the latest versions created. Now you have them all organized in a playlist and ready to look at. So then, um, let's say I'm the production manager and the reviewer. So then we start dailies. We go into the screening room and we're showing this on the big screen, and we show this, and this is the by artist one, the dog concept version one that they published. So now I can begin giving feedback, and they said the concept is done. They finished this an hour ago. Then I can begin doing annotations. So I can click here and say arrow and say For example, not sure what that is. Or maybe I can give multiple notes all in one thing. So let's say make sure to close the line. So you know what? Maybe I can change the color. Wait, oops. Let's do one note at a time. Not sure what that is. Submit. So it's going to do a screen grab with that particular annotation, and it's going to have that note. And then let's say I want to create a new one, and then I want to maybe just change the color of the line and say here, um, make sure to close the line. And then maybe I want to take a step back and say, let's create a circle and say generally this area over here needs improvement. So then the review for this particular asset is done, and it has 3 annotations. Uh, so it's got this annotation where it says not sure what that is, and then the artist can look at it and be like, oh, well, that's the tongue. I guess I could do a better job in drawing the tongue. And then make sure to close the line. What does that mean? Oh, okay, this. Oh, but that arrow's still there. That's my mistake right now. But that's the gist of it. There'll be a little bit of trial and error in terms of making it all work. I could have erased these other things. I could increase the pixel size if I want to erase annotations. They're basically happening on a layer. So what I should have done is erase them and then create them. But you get the gist. You can do text. You can again erase. Everything's on that layer. You could freehand draw and maybe say, bring this down here a little bit more. Things of that nature. So, oh, here, you can clear this way as well and undo. But that's the gist of it. So then let's say this review is done. So we close this and then we go over to this review. And then maybe this one will say, forgot to color the bumper. Otherwise, this is awesome. So then the artist is going to get this feedback. They'll have these particular annotations with these notes to be able to address, and that's the essence of the review process. So then, as an artist, since the review was it could have statuses. Let me see. So the status for the reviews were pending review. So then what we can do is we set them to viewed because they were not approved. Oops, viewed. Now, once a version does get approved, and then it would get approved, and then that task is done. And that's the gist of the review process. You create the playlist, you link the versions that you want to look at, and then during dailies, whoever is the reviewer, or at their leisure, they can go to the version and do the reviews. Or maybe they've already done the reviews, and then during dailies, it really is a review of what's already been reviewed, just to in person communicate to the artist. This is what I meant with that arrow pointing at the tongue. just to make sure that they understand. But in general, those are the tools available and what Shotgun facilitates. Of course, this is a very limited and small example, but as the production increases in complexity, this becomes extremely helpful.